Hey guys, it's Ted. I wanted to go ahead and run through the second lab for doing the EC2 using the Linux. And I wanted to just give you guys a kind of a how-to. I know a lot of people had issues with it when we first did it and weren't able to get PuTTY to run. And we're just having a time of it. Um, so the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have PuTTYgen and PuTTY.exe downloaded. You go to putty.org, and I will show you here. And you want to make sure you download PuTTY. Just click here. And then you also want to make sure that you get the PuTTYgen. And you can actually Google that as well, PuTTYgen.exe, and you can get that right here. And then just make sure you download it for Windows or Linux or Mac, whichever version you're using. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to build this new EC2 instance. So I'm going to go into my EC2 builder here. I'm going to go into my instances. Get rid of that annoying pop-up. So I'm going to go ahead and launch a new instance. And we're going to use the very first one here, the Amazon Linux 2 AMI HVM SSD volume type with 64-bit x86. We're just going to select it. Of course, we're going to do the free tier eligible for a T2 micro. And you're going to want to make sure that you have a default VPC that you're going to use on this. And if you hit your network here, you might see that I have Tiger VPC as well. That was for assignment 3, so we don't want that one currently. Right now we want the default. So I'm just going to move on to storage now. We just want the 8 gigabytes with the delete on termination. So now we're going to go to tags. And we're going to add a tag here. We're going to call it name, and then Linux VM. We'll configure our security group. And we'll want to create a new security group with SSH, TCP, port 22. And then we're going to review and launch. Here you can go through the review page and see that you've selected everything that you needed. And then you can go ahead down to the corner and you can launch. I'm actually going to use an existing key pair that I have. You can create a new key pair if you'd like, but I'm just going to go ahead and use an existing key pair that I have. I'll put a checkbox, and then I'm going to launch my instance. And then I'll click View Instance. And we see that it's getting ready. Alright, now that my instance is actually in a running state, I'll select it and I'll hit connect. Now for everything here we want to use the SSH client. So from here we have to do our key generator first. So I'm going to open PuTTYgen. I'm actually going to load the key. I'm going to go to my downloads. I'm going to change to all files. And then I'm going to look for my class key. I will open it. I'll click OK. And then we'll save the private key. And then just go ahead and click yes. You'll want to save it somewhere where you can get to it. And I'm just going to rename it. I had already had it, so I'll overwrite it. And now I'm done with the PuTTY key generator. So what I can do is I can open the PuTTY client. And then I'm going to go right here and I'm just going to copy the public DNS. We will paste it in here to the host name. We'll open the SSH underneath the connection. We'll click on the AUF. Right here, private key file for authentication. We're going to browse and we're going to find that class key that we set up as the PPK. Once we hit open, we can go ahead and open our session. We'll click accept. And now it's asking you to log in. So we're going to log in as EC2-user. Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything. Nope, that's it. And now that you see we're actually connected to that instance. And you'll know you're connected to that instance because you'll see EC2-user and it'll give you an IP address. Get caught up with my instructions here. So after you verify, you notice here it says that there's 16 packages for security out of 18 available. You can run this command sudo yum update to apply all the updates. We're not going to apply any updates currently. Since we've actually made the connection, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to type exit. And this is going to leave our session. We'll go back to our instances. I'm going to select my Linux VM that's running, and I'm going to go ahead and stop my instance. And once that's stopped, we are complete with lab number 2, which is the EC2v2 document that's located in labs.